What's up, ladies and germs? Welcome to another edition of Mad Movie Review. I'm your host, Mad Dog. Today, I'm talking about Suicide Squad. What you know is already in theaters. Let's get started with the cast. Margaret Robbie, Jared Leto, Will Smith, Christina Ricci's doppelganger,
you're pushing and pulling me down to you, but I don't know.
Jai Courtney, Joel Kidman, Karen,
yeah, hell of a day to load a 22 and take it to the woods and let it ring it to the night and break a bottle with the bullet. Yes, I'm about it.
Jay Hernandez,
You thought that this was over, thought you got away with murder. Watch me murder my deserters. This is Congress Secret Service.
Killer Croc, Viola Davis, Adam Beach, Ben Affleck, Scott Eastwood, Common, and Alex Maris. So as you may or may not know, this comic book first came out in 1959. One of the original pictures that I'm looking at right now is from May 1987. I was, man, let's see, 2, 83, 4, 5, 6, 7. I was about like 6 or 7 years old when that comic book, the image that I'm looking at is from. It was Legends #3 in January 1987. Now, as you may or may not know, the Joker was not part of the Suicide Squad. So I'm glad that they did the film the way they did. Not really showing a whole lot of Jared Leto as the Joker in it, because that just basically, was just something they wanted to kickstart with, bringing back the DC characters, Batman and the Justice League and Wonder Woman and stuff like that. Almost like the third movie after Man of Steel, and Batman vs. Superman. So after doing that, this takes place after that. Superman just passed away. Everybody's all bummed out. They got memorabilia about him. So the Suicide Squad's kind of like the Mod Squad. They're all criminals. They're basically inducted into helping to stop some bad shit going down. Kind of like Mahoney did in Police Academy. It was crazy. He screwed up, and they told him if he didn't join the Police Academy, he can go back to prison. It was like this shit. Except they weren't going to let him out. They might have cut a couple of years off their sentences for helping him out. So there's a lot of stories going on in this movie. So you almost have to, know a little bit about the characters while you're watching this movie, so you can get an understanding of the depth of them, you know what I mean, and why they are the way they are and where they are in this situation at this point in their life. Like Diablo's character, right? The gangster from like a California kind of hood, and he ends up killing his whole family and shit, right? So now he's in this movie, he's like, having regret about his situations and his circumstances in life. He's not wanting to be a bad guy anymore. Same thing with Deadshot. Deadshot was the same thing. He had his daughter who was trying to really, do some stuff to, change his life around, save up some money, and take care of his kid, Well, Batman kind of screwed that one up and took him into custody when he was walking his daughter home. That was crazy. So the villains of the villains, the villains of the villains, were Amanda Waller, who had a device that was basically a really awesome app. It puts this, they put this chip in the Suicide Squad's necks, and if they press the button or whatever. So like if they fuck up or whatever, like a really terrible way of having an ankle bracelet, instead of it just shocking them or whatever, it explodes inside of them. So that's pretty screwed up. The other main villain in the movie was the Enchantress, which is kind of like the Scarlet Witch character in a way, except it goes back to some type of myth or mythology about witches and stuff like that. It kind of goes into a little story about it, but you really can't get the full spectrum of that unless you actually know who the character is. And then there's the reimagining of Joker. So Jared Leto's character was kind of I don't know. I mean, he had just such a small portion of a role in this movie. It was almost hard to really follow what his whole meaning behind anything was, except for his love interest, which is Harley Quinn. This is cool to see in this movie because they haven't had a actual live action character of Harley Quinn until this movie, which is freaking amazing. She did an awesome job, and I think if it wasn't for her and Will Smith's characters in this movie, there would be less depth in some of these actors' roles in this movie. That's just my personal opinion. So there was a couple love interests in this movie which I thought was pretty awesome. Obviously, Joker and Harley Quinn's characters in that. That's something that should have been shown on a movie anyway, so I thought that was awesome to see. There was also the Enchantress in this, and which is kind of funny because his whole thing was to try to save his love and still be able to stop the Enchantress, which actually was possessing his girlfriend. So it was pretty good. Those are two love stories involved in the movie. The other ones was not really a love interest, but was a lot of Will Smith's character really being regretful about his choices and decisions to be Deadshot because of his daughter, feeling so torn apart from him, you know what I mean? So this is the second time you're seeing Captain Boomerang played in a live action setting. This time he's played by Australian actor Jane Courtney from Divergent. So this is the third live action character portraying the Joker, all the way since Romero way back in the 1960s. That's pretty huge. So Jared Leto, lead singer of 30 Seconds to Mars, has a pretty big pair of shoes to fill. The Flash actually got an early start in live action. Way back in the 1970s, was portrayed by Rod Hayes. Rick Flag actually made his first appearance on the Suicide Squad on the Brave and Bold number 25 back in 1959. That's a long time ago to barely be seen in a live action setting like this. Hell, the Enchantress made her first appearance back in 1966 on Strange Adventures number 187. She had a green dress and a cape back in the day.